in the book of Revelations, because I have to tell you this, and you may think I'm nuts if you want to, but this is the truth. Either these men are following the book of Revelation, as it is in the Bible, or there really is a God. And what he said was going to come to pass is coming to pass.
To be a patriot, ladies and gentlemen, is not to be loyal to my country, right or wrong. Do you understand what I'm saying? To be a patriot is to be loyal to the principles and ideals and to the supreme law of the land which makes the country. And if there's someone in the government, in the country, who is doing wrong things in the name of the country, you cannot support it. You cannot support it. The nation is not geographical boundaries. It is an idea.
Tell you something, say, too many suffering, too many tears. To see a youth die, I know him for years. When we look around, nobody care, and the people them are living in fear. The system needs to change right now. Too much youth are good on me, not grave right now. We not see the bigger it's a deal right now. After get the people are not slave right now. Oh boy, the system needs to change right now. Too much youth are good on me, not grave right now. We not see the bigger it's a deal right now. After get the people are not slave right now. Yeah, yeah.
This is something that I realized many years ago has nothing to do with geographical boundaries. It has nothing to do with the border between the United States and Mexico. It has to do with the way we think. It has to do with the principles and ideals which we support and believe in that made this the greatest, freest, most opportune nation upon the face of this earth. It is the reason why we were successful and the Mexicans were not. Why we were successful and the Canadians were not.
Me can't believe I saw them cheat people. And they have to protect and them a beat people. I'm innocent no system for the street people. Can't believe them a delete people. The system needs to change right now. Too much youth are good on me not grave right now. We not see the bigger it's a deal right now. After get the people are not slave right now. Oh boy, the system needs to change right now. Too much youth are good on me not grave right now. We not see the bigger it's a deal right now. After get the people are not slave right now. Yeah, yeah.
It's the reason why out of all of the peoples of the world, this nation is the hardest to conquer and bring into a one-world government. Why this nation is the most difficult to disarm. It has to do with freedom. It has to do with the understanding of what freedom really is. It has to do with the knowledge that if you are not willing to die for freedom, you cannot and will not ever be free, because all your enemy must do is threaten your life and you will limp into a bowl of quivering jelly.
Me can't believe I saw them cheat people. And they have to protect and them a beat people. I'm innocent no system for the street people. Can't believe them a delete people. The system needs to change right now. Too much youth are good on me not grave right now. We not see the bigger it's a deal right now. After get the people are not slave right now. Oh boy, the system needs to change right now. Too much youth are good on me not grave right now. We not see the bigger it's a deal right now. After get the people are not slave right now. Yeah, yeah.
That's what it's about. It's about the difference between right and wrong. It's about whether you have been intimidated and scared to death by titles which makes you pay tribute to your masters, or whether you will be free and stand on your own 2 feet and say, no, not now, not ever will I do such a thing. And be willing to die for that stance. Because unless you're willing to take it, you are already enslaved, and there is no rescue, there is no hope, there is no help, not now, not ever.
Me can't believe I saw them cheat people. And they have to protect and them a beat people. I mean no see no system for the street people. Can't believe them are the lead people. The system need to change right now. Too much youth are put up in that grave right now. We no see the bigger it's a deal right now. After get the people are no slave right now. Oh boy, system need to change right now. Too much youth are put up in that grave right now. We no see the bigger it's a deal right now. After get the people are no slave right now. Yeah, yeah.
Walking through Babylon. Walking through Babylon.
You have a problem? We have an answer. Oh, a building blew up in Oklahoma City? My goodness, let us protect you, for this could happen to any building. Let us take away your arms and ammunition so that you cannot protect yourself. Let us furnish your security. Trust us. We will be good to you. We will never become despotic or tyrannical. We will protect you. Give us your guns. Give us your arms. Let us take care of you. We will save you from yourselves. Isn't that what we hear? The double mind breach. And this function can easily, ladies and gentlemen, assume in the minds of the subject, patients, the people, a godlike status. I submit this status is characterized by the use of the term they in our society, as in, why don't they come up with a tire that will never wear out or a cure for cancer? As in, they have a cure for cancer, but the doctors would lose too much money, so they have suppressed it. Or, they say the CIA killed Kennedy and he was fornicating with Marilyn throughout his presidency. They write the movie scripts and the billboard slogans. They have the money and the power and control of the illusion machine. They can cure cancer or withhold the cure. They reveal the secrets behind assassinations and scandals. What will they do next? How will they program the show today? Let's sit back, watch, and find out. And since we choose to refuse to genuinely heal the rift between the two sides of our mentality by the tough means of repudiating our lying public persona and taking action on the understanding of our true self, we relinquish autonomy to those who make it appear that they can heal us at no great cost or trouble on our part. You don't have to be responsible. You don't have to take any risk. You don't even have to get up off your couch. We will heal you. We will provide you security. We will take care of you. But never mind that they are also the ones who implanted the rift in the first place, a la Hegel, and the dialectic is working upon us all the time. The point is, ladies and gentlemen, we have little or no power. We cannot act. We cannot invent. We cannot cure. We must wait and see what happens. We must see what they make happen. And if you believe that, you're already dead and buried. I am a free man. The king has issued a warrant for my arrest. The king has called me the most dangerous radio host in America. All of you hiding behind whatever you're hiding, making sure that you don't get on anybody's list, making sure that you file and pay the tribute every April 15th. You are slaves. I am free. I may be the only free man in America today. I'm free. And no matter how much it has cost me to be free, thank God in heaven, I'm free. And because I am free, maybe, just maybe, my daughters will someday be just as free. Thank God. Thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus, for giving me the courage and the moral fortitude to be free. Thank God. And if they come up here tonight and kill me in my sleep, which they probably will not do, I will be even more free than I have ever even dreamed of. And I will finally get to solve the last remaining mystery that cannot be solved until one dies. Then I will know if I was right or wrong, and if I was right, just maybe, God will smile at me. And I will be welcomed to His side. And that's the only thing in the world that matters to me. Good night, folks. God bless each and every single one of you. Good night, Pooh, my darling sweetheart. Good night, Allison, you vibrant little bundle of joy. You know, this house is haunted. I can hear you girls screaming and playing all the time. Annie, you are the love of my life. You always will be the love of my life.
If you want to find out how quickly the society can turn against one, and I'm talking seriously here, stand up and tell the truth about just anything that you want to stand up and tell the truth about. It scares the living daylights out of everyone. And so the first thing that happens is you find out who your friends are and who your friends are not, because there's a great weeding out there. And it's not anything that you do on your part or that I've done on my part. They just disappear. And you find very quickly that people are afraid to be around you because they can see the government being upset about what you're talking about, and they can see repercussions coming, and of course they have happened and will continue to happen. And ultimately, I really believe that there will be some kind of a terminal point where they decide that they're not just not going to put up with this pest anymore, and that's going to be the end of me. We have been literally financially in the ditch. We have found it impossible to get any kind of a normal job with anyone who knows anything about what I do. You can't go to church, you can't go to cocktail parties because everybody else is sitting around talking about the weather, or, oh, what school did you go to? And when you have done the research and arrived at some of the answers that I know to be true now, those people become like kindergarten children. They're not in the real world, and I can't engage in that kind of a conversation. So you're really find yourself in another world that has nothing to do with all of the rest of the people who are running around engaged in their activities that they think are so important to them. And to them, they really are. But to me, they've lost the reality of what really is important, and they're about to lose their freedom to even discover those things at this point.
I'll ask you a last question, and that is, how would you like to be seen or remembered in future years when people look back and you think about the thrust of your work? What is it that you would like to be best remembered for?
I think I would like to be remembered like Paul Revere was remembered. At a time when it was needed and nobody else would do it, I got on my horse and rode through the night and said, "The British are coming." That's all. I'm not looking for any fame or any fortune. You certainly don't get rich doing what I'm doing. And infamous is probably the real word that describes what happens to you as far as public recognition in a world where political correctness is the theme of the day. You just don't do what I'm doing. So if anybody wants to remember me, I would certainly be pleased if they just remembered I did what was the responsible and the right thing to do at a time when nobody else had the guts to do it.
The worst thing that our enemies can ever create is a martyr. Any move to hurt me in any manner whatsoever that would not be a legitimate method or a legitimate outcome of some legitimate endeavor will be met with martyrdom. Tremendously dangerous and strong, active political movements always rise up around martyrs. While I don't really want to be a martyr, if that's what history chooses for me to be, then I will be that martyr. But our enemies are not stupid. They try to come at you in a way that will demonize you in the eyes of the American public, or the public of the world, so that whatever they do will seem to be legitimate. But my knowledge of the law has stymied them in that respect, because I've challenged them on every issue and they have defaulted. And so they're betting that some local sheriff's deputy or local police officer is going to arrest me, in which case, if they attempt that, I'll have to shoot them. Or they'll have to shoot me. And that's what the federal government is counting on. Then they can really demonize me by saying I murdered some police officer who was doing something he should never have been doing in the first place and was actually the one committing the crime against me. And I know all of you are scratching your head because you've been taught so many lies all your life. You think this is absolute total bullshit, but it's the absolute, complete, and total truth.
They're not going to let me get away with doing this forever, so the day they come to put me in prison or kill me, you'll all know that for sure, because it will happen sometime in the future. I don't know exactly when, but it will. And I've known that from the beginning. Good evening. You're on the air.
Good evening, William. Knowing how desperate the situation is, don't you think we need to do something more drastic along the lines of Lyndon Johnson's March on Washington?
Can't do it, my friend. We must have the law with us. We must stay within the law. If they instigate it, we are within our rights and within the law to do whatever is necessary to save our freedoms and restore the Constitution. If we start it, we are then terrorists, insurrectionists, rebellious overthrowers of the United States government, and I am not that. I want to restore
I understand that
what has been taken away.
Lyndon's plan does have a lot of flaws in it, but with your expertise, you have to agree that we need something major to wake up the sheep of this country.
We cannot do anything until they do something first. You have to understand something, that when this starts, it's not going to be over real quick. We're going to have to fight a guerrilla war, and we're going to need the support of the population. If we are the terrorists, if we are rebels trying to overthrow the United States government, we will have no help from the populace. We will have no support from the people.
But if we don't do something soon, it's going to be too late to do anything.
Don't get radical. If you get radical and you start it first, they will be justified. We'll have the support of the entire population of the sheeple out there when they come to step on us.
Well, they're going to try that either way.
Well, it's a little different when you have the law on your side. You see, the weight of the people is a political force.
Well, it just seems like right now the political people are involved. It's just such a minuscule amount compared to the overwhelming sheeple. And without something drastic to wake them up and draw their attention, because I feel like even in defeat...
What do you mean something drastic? If Waco didn't wake them up, nothing's going to wake them up, my friend.
Waco's small potatoes compared to maybe 5 million people, even unarmed, passing somewhere.
Go back to bed. Folks, if you're way out in left field, forget it. You're not going to help us. You're going to hurt us. 5 million people, huh? By that time, it's too late to wake anybody up. And, you know, I don't know. Sometimes I don't know if I'm getting across to anybody out there, but I have to keep trying.
It's sick because the one thing that we need the least is a revolution.
Yep.
We're not going to like what comes out of it. It may not turn out the way we want it to turn out. It may turn just the opposite.
Revolution, you never know what the outcome of a revolution will be.
Yeah.
But a restoration, that's something different. We all know what the outcome is going to be. We know what the goal is, to restore constitutional Republican government, to do away with the excesses in government, to arrest those who have subverted this country and destroyed it, and hold them until they can be tried by a jury of their peers as the Constitution dictates, and find out if they're innocent or guilty.
I agree. I mean,
And if they're guilty, hang them.
Lenin said that socialism was brought about through revolution.
Yeah.
And that's what these people are trying to do, basically.
They're trying to instigate the American people to rise up against the government to justify changing the entire character of this nation and bring about one world totalitarian socialist government.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing.
And it's still raining. I want all of you to do something now. Sit back. Close your eyes. On the back of your eyelids, draw a picture of the United States of America and all of its possessions. Draw a map. And on that map, put a dot for every city and town in this great nation and in its possessions. Now, if you're like me, it'd take you forever to count those dots because just in the state of Arizona, there's an awful lot of little towns and cities. A lot of them. Now, we're talking about the whole nation and all of the possessions of the United States of America. Now, take yourself to the street corner of any town that you want to in this nation or any of its possessions. And understand that at any given moment, hour, day, week, month, or year, if you have enough money in your hand, you can buy any quantity of any kind of dope, drug, narcotic that you can think of. At any moment, day or night, any hour, any day, week, month, or year, day or night.
Now, can you imagine the supplies of drugs that have to be entering this country to accomplish that? Can you imagine? Understand that it's not Colombian drug lords bringing those drugs into this country. They're coming in under the protection of the umbrella of national security. Ladies and gentlemen, it's still raining. When is it ever going to stop? How is it ever going to stop? How in the world and who are we going to get to stop the rain? I know from my stint with the Office of Naval Intelligence that George Herbert Walker Bush, when he was the president and CEO of the offshore division of Zapata Oil, was the man responsible for bringing the drugs into this country. He organized the first large-scale drug smuggling operations from Central and South America that came to the offshore oil platforms, and from there into the beach by the normal crew conveyance, and thus skirted detection by law enforcement or customs officials. And it's still raining, still storming. And until we as a people, until we as a nation wake up and take our power back and reinstate the Constitution as the supreme law of this land, the storm will continue to get worse, and it will continue to rain, and there will be no sunshine for this nation. For the United States of America, ladies and gentlemen, is scheduled for extinction. Understand that you will have no rights. The United Nations Charter has no individual rights for individual human beings. There's no freedom of religion, no freedom of speech, no protection from unreasonable search and seizure. No guarantee that you will not be made to testify against yourself. There's no writ of habeas corpus. There is no guarantee of just compensation for property confiscated or seized. There is no nothing. No nothing. There are no guarantees of any kind. Are you ready and willing to give up everything that humanity has worked for in the history of this earth? All of man's efforts to be free, to be responsible, to walk in a divine state of grace, responsible upon this earth? Or are you going to give it all away? And for what? And for what?
And just like I've told you for many, many years, you don't have to lie about things. You don't have to sensationalize them. You don't have to make anything up. You don't have to invent figures. The truth is bad enough. The truth's bad enough. And if you tell the truth, you have credibility. And credibility means people will listen to you. Credibility means things will be tended to. When you lie and people find out that you're lying, and it's easy, it is so easy to discover, then you have no credibility. You become a liar. You become somebody with no confidence factor. You become a rumor monger. You become a minion of the old, who was it? Who was it that was billed as the great deceiver? I wonder who that was. See, whenever you spread a rumor, whenever you tell a lie, whenever you stretch the truth or sensationalize something,
And I don't care what the reason is that you do it. You become an ally of the great deceiver. Somebody called him Heinrich Himmler. Somebody else called him Lucifer. Somebody else called him Satan. You can call him anybody you want. But listen to me very carefully. He's not anybody I want around me. His minions are not anybody that I want to know or be associated with or hear from. His minions and allies and supporters are not the people that I care about. You understand? You want to be on his side? Stay the hell away from me. Don't call me. Don't write me. Don't reference me. Don't email me. I don't want anything to do with you. If you're a spreader of rumors and lies and disinformation and sensationalization and all of this other bullshit. Do you hear me, sheeple? I don't know why it makes people so angry. You know, if all get off your butts and do the same research that I do, you would know the same things that I know, and you shouldn't be angry or jealous or upset. What you should be is thankful for having forewarning so that you can act upon it. But do you ever act upon anything? Have you ever? Will you ever? That's the question. That is the hinge upon which the door to the future operates. You don't know that. You don't give a damn, probably. Because to oil the hinge and make the door work and make it all better, you gotta get up off your ass and do something. Oh, heaven forbid you have to do that. Oh my goodness, you might even have to take some kind of personal risk. You might even get on somebody's list. Oh, people might even start to respect you because you cease to become worthless. But, oh, who am I to dream like that? Come on, Bill. I mean, you know, you're really getting away with yourself here, dreaming like that. Come on, Bill. Get real.
There has been a philosophical route to control others since man could first convey a language or put it in writing. As soon as people had power and one slime ball that came out of the ocean developed into a stronger man than his neighbor, somebody had the inclination to control someone else. You can see a mirror image of society really watching little children even at a preschool. And you can see factions already starting at 4 years old. Who's going to be the strongest, who's the fastest, who can outwit the other guy, and who can bargain off the most Barbies and G.I. Joes to somebody else. George Bush Sr. just didn't stand up and say there's 1,000 points of light in the New World Order. It didn't just start in '91.
What is at stake is more than one small country. It is a big idea, a new world order, where diverse nations are drawn together in common cause to achieve the universal aspirations of mankind: peace and security, freedom, and the rule of law.
You can sell anything, if you think about it. Look at the circus. And if they can sell and pitch their goods and hardware to people, and it makes people feel good even though it's a false sense of security, like we have to do this to protect you from yourself. Before you know it, they're raised up on that ivory tower, and it's no longer we're doing this to protect you from yourself. We're doing this to control you and manipulate you. If we don't do this for your own good, protect you from terrorism, give you national health care, because you're too stupid to pick your own health care, and you sure can't be trusted to build any highways or control the flow of water within your state or county, or dam it, or have a power plant or anything without our overbearing guidance. So you need to surrender all these skills and freedoms to us. If you were to analyze them mentally, many would be diagnosed as megalomaniacs and sociopaths. Everybody has varying degrees of desires, even sick people. How sick they want to be, how in charge they want to be. So some people will naturally be fine of just being in charge of a few thousand people. Others think in the size of nations. The best way to control a population is through resources. You don't gain much ground going door to door and kicking in doors and doing armed seizures. If you can control the ability for people to prosper and produce and to eat and to drink, then you control a population. By over-regulating industries with no scientific proof, you have crushed the ability for American manufacturing to be the lead in the world. And if we're not the lead in the world and you start closing plants, people aren't working, which means they're not buying food or buying Christmas presents. We should be the #1 exporter of wood products. What do? We continually, year after year, set a new record of catastrophic wildfires, burning up in a matter of days. You cannot recover that. I can't wave a wand and make 200 years, 300 years of forestry grow for your children to enjoy. So it's that Hegelian dialectic. If you create the catastrophe, then you already have an answer to that catastrophe ahead of time. Then you create a catastrophe so you can come in and be the hero and save them. We cannot continue on this path without imploding, self-destructing. You will always have predator and prey. As we get weaker and weaker, we invite the predator. Now we can say it's North Korea or China or Venezuela. An adversarial country that seeks to have a larger stand in the world with a military or economically would be a fool not to pick on a country with the rich resources that we have and not make an attempt at a takeover. Do I want it to happen? Absolutely not. I'll be the first person to fight a red wave of Chinese invading us. I guarantee you I'll be up front with good friends. But if for an adversary not to take advantage of our weakening position strategically or tactically, they're not going to pass that up. And I don't see how we're going to get out of the current. We're not going to get through one more generation. Look at the ammunition sales that have been going on. What does the USDA Forest Service need to be stockpiling current combat 5.56 ammunition, M16 ammunition? Is there like some wave of Smokey the Bears that are rabid right now? Okay, somebody's preparing for something. They obviously aren't doing it to protect us. I think they're afraid of a cataclysmic backlash. I mean, you can only push a people so far before they said enough's enough. How do we mitigate the damage? How do we do something good? We do some introspection, if you will. I'm not talking some Buddhist thing. I just mean that old phrase of looking in the mirror, saying, here's what I believe in, and here's what I'm willing to die for. Is it going to happen and we're just going to save the whole economy and country as we know it right now, or as we know it historically? No. It is infixable as we know it. It's going to have to implode, collapse, and we're going to have to... the survivors that want to prosper and be free again are going to have to rebuild again.
So government keeps growing and growing and growing, and it'll keep growing and growing and growing until it just absolutely collapses and a new order will come in and a despotism will rule. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. The whole structure is going to collapse into total and absolute chaos. And a lot of these so-called patriots are going to turn into petty little warlords. They're going to rape, loot, and steal. And so are other people who are not even patriots. Some patriots will try to preserve law and order and will be killed in the process. And the ruling elite will simply go underground until it's all finished. Seems that somebody at the satellite uplink couldn't handle the truth either, ladies and gentlemen, so they cut us off the satellite. Well, that won't work because the tape is here and it's going to get out. What's going to happen is this whole structure is going to fall apart into utter and total chaos. The ruling elite are going to go underground and wait it out while everybody up here just kills each other off. Then they'll come back up and establish a despotism. And you will be ruled like the lodge rules its members. You will be pledged to absolute obedience, and you'd better hope that the despot is a benevolent. You will destroy yourselves, and you will get exactly what you deserve, and those of us who don't deserve it and who want to live by the truth will do the best we can for each other. There really isn't anything to do for the rest of you. You go from one dead end to another. You don't like to be in the middle of the river so that you will get to any kind of a destination. You keep getting caught up in these little eddies that spin around and around and around. You are the flotsam and the jetsam of the battle of life. And you are tossed willy-nilly here and there by the tides and the waves and the oceans and the storms. Those of us who fight the battles are the ones who get somewhere. The rest of you, as in all of history, always fall mercy to the victor of the battle. And it never really matters who it is, for whoever it is, as long as you are the sheep, it doesn't matter who they are or what they do, they will always be the wolves. And all of this realization and this pain, I still wish you well, but knowing that it is your nature that you will not do well. You did not make this nation. Great men sticking their lives in the balance made it for you. You have thrown it away. And I hope God has some mercy, and I hope He can really bless you all.
This title is from the book of Revelations because I have to tell you this, and you may think I'm nuts if you want to, but this is the truth. Either these men are following the book of Revelation, as it is in the Bible, or there really is a God, and what He said was going to come to pass is coming to pass.
We are anonymous. We are legion. We do not forgive. We do not forget. Expect us.